And now, live from Pod Cabin in Burbank, California, it's the Allison Rosen is Your New Best Friend show. Tonight, Allison welcomes her guest. He's a musician, lumber baron, and the last face most Los Angeles trees will see before they're turned into furniture. It's Todd Cooper. And she's an actress and writer who is not afraid to tell her nurse to get a glow up. It's Niccole Thurman. Tone Zone is here and, as always, is very demure and very mindful with just a little choo-choo out and not his cho-cho. I'm her husband, Daniel, saying hop on board the love bus and say hello to your new best friend, Allison Rosen.
Allison Rosen. Allison Rosen is your new best friend. Allison, with her good times never end. Allison Rosen, doing the wavy pencil dance again. Allison Rosen, Allison's your new best friend.
Hello, my little Trader Joe's apple cider donuts. Welcome to another exciting episode of Allison Rosen is Your New Best Friend. That particular carbohydrate was sent in on Patreon. By Tiffany Fuller. And I've never even had apple cider donuts, and they sound like they would be delicious unless they taste like a Yankee Candle, in which case they could be like really atrocious. I don't know. It could go either way. But I am on Patreon. Lots of fun stuff over there. Just uploaded a Patreon bonus podcast of the Friend Zone. That's my Patreon podcast with Lizzie Cooperman. All sorts of stuff that's too hot for the main feed on there. Tons of friend zones with all the people you'd want to hear from, and then you can submit carbohydrates and you can ask questions and you can see pictures and blah blah blah. Do an annual subscription and get 2 months free. Patreon.com/Allison Rosen. I would like to say hello to my guests already. The energy in the room is popping in an authentic way, which is the best kind of way. Niccole Thurman, hello.
Oh, hello.
Wonderful to see you.
Wonderful to be back. Thank you for having me.
I am excited to find out what's been going on with you. I already know a little bit about your MRI.
Yes,
Todd Cooper, hello.
Hey,
Wonderful
I got
to see
there
you
ahead of the cheers.
That's right.
Beat you to it, baby.
Daniel, hello.
Hi.
How's it going?
Going great.
I feel a heavy spirit from you.
It's been a busy work day. I'm a bit stressed. But don't worry about me. You just do your show.
I worry about you.
No, don't. You're too codependent.
I
Don't
know.
take it on.
Okay. Is it like we're in a war and you've been hit by a bullet and you're like, go ahead, don't wait for me.
Yeah,
And I'm like, but
go on.
I've been taught I have to. No man left behind.
That's right. Go on without me. By the way,
That's what I
speaking of
meant.
last words, who was it that died recently? Oh, that Alan, that French actor. Did you guys see the story? That French actor who died, and one of his last wishes was for them to kill his dog and bury his dog with him.
Wait, what?
Yeah, everyone's like eulogizing this heartthrob French actor, and then it turns out he was like, but I'm taking my dog with me.
But they didn't do it right.
Or he says that in a French accent.
I'm taking my dog. Do
Well,
not
no,
leave my
then,
dog
With
behind.
me.
The French
Pete,
Humane
he says with me.
the French Humane Society, I think, had to release a statement saying we will not honor his dying wish.
We will not honor his dying wish.
Thank you.
We shall not. French Peter says no. I didn't say to say no. I was going to say something else. But
I didn't know you spoke French.
Yeah, non. Yeah, oui, I do.
Well, good. I'm glad that they didn't. I feel like some years ago, maybe they would have.
Dying wishes. I feel like people they honor those things too much.
Where do I put my dying wish?
Yeah, really. Where do
want
you
that.
enter this? Like,
Your
Yeah.
notes app. You just have it open when you die, the notes app, and you're like,
It's important that you kill my dog.
how old was this dog? What if it was like a puppy?
I don't know. He said he'd had 50 dogs in his life, and this was his last dog, and this dog's going with him or something. It was.
God.
50 dogs.
It was an intense.
Yeah,
He measured his life in dogs.
I just can't imagine somebody being no problem, we'll murder your dog.
Right.
Who's yeah, I'm on board for this.
I mean, what if the dog's
Tony's-
a jerk? They're like, yeah, I'll shoot that
Oh,
dog.
yeah, that's right. There might be a neighbor who's like,
I'll shoot it.
I'm on board.
I got you. No,
Are you dying
Sorry.
anytime soon? Because I'm not. But to Tony's point, if let's say average lifespan of a dog, 10 years,
Right.
he should not have had 50 dogs in his lifetime.
Maybe
Well, multiple
it was
dogs.
also a living wish. Maybe he wants to keep that a lot.
Maybe he was just killing dogs every year. Oh,
Yeah.
I could have the number
What do
wrong.
we
I think
know
it was
about
that.
this guy?
But also, he could have just like 10 dogs. Don't
Yeah.
rich people just have a bunch of dogs running around? Like
You're
the
right.
queen.
You're right.
You know what I mean? She always had like 8
All those
corgis or whatever.
I was
yeah.
right. I was thinking that it was one by one.
They're not consecutive. He doesn't serve his dogs consecutively. There's some concurrent
Right.
dogs happening.
I understand
overlap.
now.
Right.
Anyway, fuck this guy.
I know. It really makes you look at this guy. Ladies,
Listen.
you got to be careful about your heartthrobs, you know?
You got to check in. What's on your dying wish list before we go on a date?
I have something to say though about pet ethics, but first I need to see. I was not wrong about Daniel's heavy spirit, by the way. Right, opening the show with this story.
Listen,
Dog
if you
murder.
hadn't said anything, we would not have been talking about dog murder.
Is that
but
true?
it's-
Because you tried to tell me this story
I was
the other
chipper.
day. No. You tried to tell me you're like, because is his name Elaine? Is it like Alain?
Yes,
because
it's a
I could
French-
tell you were like splitting the difference between Alan and Elaine. when
I
you told
don't
me.
have the foggiest clue how to pronounce his name, and now I don't care.
Dog murderer.
Yes.
Hi, Tony.
Thank you.
Hi, are you ready to sing the song you learned last week?
Hey diddle diddle, the cat and the fiddle, the cow jumped over the moon.
The little dog laughed to see such a sight, and the dish ran away with the spoon. I know, I effortlessly shifted into my head voice, but you didn't even know I knew that term.
But I thought,
So-
didn't you not know that song last week?
So
I thought you said that.
She didn't know she knew it.
I didn't. Thank you. I didn't know I knew it. As soon as Jenna started singing it, I was like, "Oh, I do know this song." Somehow it came up that there's a "Hey Diddle Diddle" song, and I'm like, "What is that song?" And then we were knee deep in it, and I was like, "Oh, I do know this." So anyway, I said I had something to say. Hi, Tony. About thank you for that. About pet ethics. So we hear this story about this guy who wants to take his dog with him, and like that's horrible and awful. However, when contemplating, should we? So Todd, I guess you do know. We went to Japan with our dog Wendy to get heart surgery for her, which is an insane thing to do.
But if I were to die, tough shit. You're coming with me.
I mean, that'd just be
That's why.
a poor investment.
By the way, the rest of the family could have continued to have her, but if I go,
She's the most bonded
she
to
would.
Daniel.
She would probably
want to go with you.
want to go with me.
That's what I would.
Okay, and I'm going to play dog murderer's advocate over here because the whole time I've been waiting to get in here and say I would probably do the same thing. I wouldn't do the same thing actually, but I will admit, and I'm not joking, I mean, I'm joking, that I have thought like, oh, if I die, like what is he going to do?
Well,
I
that
probably
was
have to come
his
with
explanation.
What's
Was
her
like,
life about?
Izzy's a Velcro dog. She would be
Yeah.
like, I'm
His-
jumping in that thing anyway.
Yeah.
so his pre-mortem explanation
That sounds right.
Living pre-mortem
was that his dog would not want to live without him because it would be too sad and would mourn for the rest of its life, and he didn't want to put it through
That sounds so narcissistic.
that agony.
Totally.
It's
What kind
just
of
so
dog?
French. Like it's
Yeah.
just so like deeply like this dog will never find his peace.
The dog's looking out the window for like 10 years, like, oh, I miss my Elaine.
Just smoking.
Beret. Exactly.
Yeah, wearing a
He's
beret.
black and white.
The baguette out of his backpack. Hey, French people, that's who you are.
The end.
The end.
That's all you are.
So, of course, we value life. And
Yeah, but not the French.
Well, hang on. No, they have you read Sartre? I don't think they do. I haven't either read him, but
They don't.
no. So we, as humans, we value life, and it seems wrong to bury a dog with, a healthy dog, kill a healthy dog.
But that's our
anyway,
culture.
no. So I was thinking, well, it's a human's. Here's my question.
Yes.
So I was thinking about taking Wendy to Japan, the surgery. I did a lot of thinking ahead of time.
Sure.
And there's all of these, all the arguments against it. I think we all know what they are, which is like, that's insane and it's expensive and what are you doing? And you're playing God, except not really, because no one actually said that, but I just,
I'm with you,
I
but,
played
like-
French devil's advocate with myself.
Yeah, but I mean, all medicine is, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But I think there is the like artificially extending a life, which would be like dialysis for a dog, or like something where their life is now about medical stuff. And I think everyone who deals with a dog that has some kind of disease where there is treatment near the end deals with that in some way. And I've heard people like, I feel guilty that we didn't do more I feel guilty that we did so much. Either way, like you end up feeling bad about it. But with this, it's one surgery and then it's 3 months of crate time, basically. Although we're letting her out, but like 3 months of her activity being limited. And then she lives normally and has a better life. So the argument like for is, but you're doing something to make her life better. But I have lost the plot here. What was I trying to say? What I was trying to
Tony
say.
will tighten this up.
At what point?
No, I guess what I'm trying to say is like, for her,
Yeah.
is living longer necessarily better? Like,
Right.
as long as there's no suffering for her. For us,
I
her
didn't
living-
know until I saw her with the beret smoking cigarettes by the rainy window, and then I was like, I don't think she wants this.
For us, her having
to go. It got out. Today's the day.
Yeah.
like
I
for,
can't stop with
for
accent, I'm sorry.
us, no, I please do it as long as you need to. For us, her having a long life is obviously better. But is this what she would choose?
That's the argument. I mean, that's kind of what you're saying. That's all that's a lot of medicine.
Right.
Right? Because humans and dogs. Because it is at what point is it enough? Is it a full life?
Yeah.
And do they go? And then also, like, are they in a ton of pain? Would you take them out of the pain?
Right.
Like, because I would think, maybe just give them pain meds and then they can just go with whatever's wrong. But it's like, it's hard to know, what to do.
Like for this, like Alain, his chien. That seems cruel and insane. Not insane. I keep using that word. It seems cruel to honor this guy's dying wish. But for this dog, if the dog is
like
wagging its
hyper-bonded.
tail and happy one day and then just doesn't exist the next, and it was peaceful and didn't experience any pain, like, is that necessarily bad? It feels wrong. It feels icky, but like, is that bad?
Yeah, well, look, Wendy has no concept of her mortality.
I guess that's kind of
She
what
doesn't
I'm
have
getting
any
at.
concept of past or future or present, really, or
She
much of
doesn't, she
anything.
doesn't conceptualize.
She knows.
It's a minute.
She knows this is what she thinks. I'm hungry, or I want to be in that room.
Oh, you're in the bathroom?
That's it. That's a sum total of all of her thoughts.
Have you seen this dog, Bunny the dog, on Instagram? I think I brought it up last time I was here. Who pushes the buttons and can talk?
Oh, no.
Wow.
You did. I think you did. Bring it up.
I did, right?
I haven't seen it yet.
I guess it's all I talk about.
No.
But this dog like can push buttons and they've trained it, and the dog is asking things like, "Why storm? Why rain?"
Wait,
like,
really?
Yeah, it's
What
yeah.
kind of
I've
dog
seen
is
these.
this?
I never buy it.
Oh,
I don't buy it.
I wouldn't, but it's pretty consistent.
Wow.
She posts like a lot. I mean, I want to be like that dog bump. Why? And that dog just said rain.
But how do you answer the dog in the way in a way
She
that
like talks to the dog using the words that are on the pad as much as she can.
Oh.
So like the dog is trained to know those words, so she tries to use those words as best she can.
And this is shocking that a dog would even understand the concept of why.
Right? Like
Yeah.
also, what does that mean to a dog? Like,
Yeah.
The idea that we're going to get in a dog's consciousness and understand want is like, who knows, right?
Right.
But like ultimately, I think that's like as a dog or like a pet owner, you're on the hook to take care of the dog as best you can. That's kind of it. And no one knows the dog like you know the dog, and you're responsible to do what you think is best. That's as good as it gets.
Including
It's the same as parenting.
Kill them when you die.
Including choke that fucker out. You're coming with me.
Smother him with the pillow and then take the pills you were gonna. Oh, that's so dark. That's so dark.
But there is like,
Yes.
as soon as you start talking about this stuff, it's like, how is it illegal for humans to have a way out?
Wait, I have
Oh,
to
I
remember
know.
the thing I watched on this on not what's it called, like Death and Dying, but you can choose it in Oregon. It's legal, and I'm like, I cannot
Euthanasia?
believe it's not legal.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
But yeah, I can't. I'm totally of the same mindset right now. Of like this, because I think that people have this. It's like God, I'm gonna go off, but I won't. But like, I think people have this.
Do.
This is how things should be. We should have to do this. You should have to do that. And then half the people are like, I hate being a parent. It sucks. And I'm like, so then why? Because that's what you do. No, why? And like, why do you have to put someone hooked
why?
up to a machine for ages for
Right.
$1 billion and then they die anyway when they probably wanted to go 6 months earlier? They don't care. And the other thing is, from what I've experienced, having crazy accidents or injuries, like I have to get tested for glaucoma next week.
Oh, no.
Or this week. I know. And it's really weird, right? But I was like, I don't know. It's one eye. That's fine. If it was one. if one eye went really bad, I could handle it. But it's like, that's weird how you start to think like that when it's like that.
bargaining.
And so that's why I'm saying, like, maybe the dog would be like, I'm old. How old was the dog? Like, maybe the dog was like,
Right.
Dad's going, I'm about to go. I'd rather just go now before, and I know this is crazy
They
sounding,
need
but
to give it the
it's
pad
relating
where it
to
just
humans.
types it out.
Yeah, he'd be like, die now. It's fine. Pills. It's cool. I sign contract saying it's okay. But no, like, it's weird that people have to like either get arrested, go to jail, go to Oregon, or like, for just to be able to have some autonomy or some onus over their own life and existence.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And so that's why I think I have to remember this documentary I watched, but it's beautiful for me, in my opinion, to be able to see people make choices. The dogs are different, but I'm very much of this mindset lately.
It's like religion in America is like based on like puritanical, like, we all know this stuff, but like the idea of like life being sacred and then like this afterlife life aspect and all these things, it come from that. It's not universal human. It's our point of view on it. Yeah. Where like at all costs you stay alive, and it's like, man, like some people would like to have be able to peace out and go like, yeah, I'm really in pain all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've ever, both of you, I'm sure I know you have. It's like when you're in pain and the painkillers aren't really working, or you're just tired of taking painkillers. Like, it's all you can think about. Yeah. You cannot have another thought other than the pain.
I would watch every minute go by until the 5:15 when I could get the Dilaudid. Yeah, especially when I had neuropathy, and people have to deal with neuropathy their whole lives. I don't even know.
So if you have that chronic, I mean, like, I just saw recently a thing. Someone invented a chamber. It's like a. It's like a coffin, like you just
it is.
It's like blue.
No, he's talking about like a killing machine.
It is. It's a suicide machine. It's blue. You get in. It's wild. You get in. You lay in it, and then it's like it asks you if you want to die, and then you have to press it. You have to like answer yes several times, and then
a dog could do it.
Oh, wow.
And then once it does it, it slowly takes the oxygen out, and then you expire. And then it's like they were like, if you do the yes like 3 times or whatever, there's no backing out. So
Jesus,
like if you're like,
always be a kill
wait, I don't
switch.
want to. It's too. They won't.
Because you would be
That is the kill
to me
switch.
is the funniest piece of it.
Right?
Like why does the company have that aspect of like, no motherfucker, you said yes.
Yeah.
They're like, we don't want to deal with that
oxygen
shit.
gone, bitch. Now you dead.
Yeah.
That's
I
happening.
refuse to put oxygen back in that
Yeah, I
chamber.
refuse.
Is it like you're already brain damaged at that point? Like, is there no
maybe
going
that's
back?
No,
or
I think
something?
maybe because you start to get delirious, or because like there was that documentary about people that jumped off the
this is gonna need such a
the
trigger
Golden
warning.
Gate Bridge, and like and one of the things that there was a survivor, and they're like, as soon as I jumped off, I was like, oh shit, I didn't want to do. Like,
you hear that a lot.
You hear it a lot. Yeah.
So maybe they know.
That is interesting.
I don't know.
You'd
But
think
maybe
that they
you
would
know.
honor that change of heart. I mean, I guess it's a poor business model.
I don't know. Like,
You get a refund? No.
Just a lot of people with brain dead from the machine.
but then they don't get results. You know what I mean? And this is a company that's results oriented.
That's what I was saying. Where is
where did you see this?
or where is it? Yeah.
I read it in Bullshit Weekly.
I like when you were describing it, the first thing about it you described was, it's blue.
It's blue. Well, I love that's actually the thing for me. It was like they made it look like all future, like it's like this cool like future pod that you can get, like something you'd see in like 2001. Like, ooh, cool.
Looks like a Tesla truck.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Have you ever seen those? They're like pods. There's a pod thing where you can get what's it called, like sensory deprivation.
Yeah. I've never done that.
And they have one that's like Hello Kitty for some reason.
Wait, didn't you say this was in? Isn't this in like Norway or something? Or Denmark?
Yeah, I think it was one of those crazy.
That's why it's designed very nicely.
They fucking love doing.
I'm
shit
surprised
like
it's
that
not
there.
made of white oak. Just a beautiful machine.
Oh my god!
weird.
It's like a sauna slash.
The documentary, can I say real quick?
Please.
It's called "Take Me Out Feet First." It's about choosing to die. Yeah, okay, it's really good.
There's a lot of weird stuff in our culture about death. I just heard like a death doula on a podcast.
Oh yeah.
And
coach you through it or something.
Yeah, and like they're there for like family members and everybody else. Like, and
I'm so glad people like that exist.
Me
but,
too.
Oh my god.
I don't want to do
Right.
it, but like anyone who works in like those, what are they called? The homes,
Hospice?
Palliative-
hospice
or
care,
hospice, yeah.
palliative care.
Uh-huh.
Like it's like a thing people do, and it's a real gift. you're really taking care of somebody, and they're like I don't know, like there's not kind of a kinder role,
Right. It's like an
but
angel.
anybody that
death.
does those turned real metal at the end.
It's okay. Goodbye.
But anybody who does that, like, always has like such positive things to say. They're like, it's not awful. We make it so awful.
Yeah.
But it's like culture has put such a stink on it that we can't even say the word death.
Yeah.
Like without it having
We're
some
going to get
weight to it.
demonetized.
I saw that on Instagram, actually, something similar. There's a nurse who
Nurse Julie?
is that who it is, who talks about death, and then all I know is I saw a video of her describing the death rattle and showing a video of it.
I think it's probably Nurse
Because she
Julie.
wanted people to realize it's just it's the body doing
Just
it. It's not
releasing
the brain.
air.
It's just releasing air. It's just getting the final bits out. And she was explaining the process of it and what's going on. Because I've never seen someone die. I've only seen that on movies and on documentaries. And if I had to see that live, I think I'd be terrified. And I would not think they were okay. So it's good for like people like that to like be like, this is what it is. It's just the body reacting or like naturally doing something that the brain isn't connected to.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Yeah.
One more thing about this, and then we can move on to lighter stuff. But if you guys want, but it's just interesting to go back to this. It's a sin to take your own life.
Yeah.
Like, why did they need to underline that? It's not like, I mean, as far as I know,
Well-
it's not like there's like a whole ton of people who are like, if you didn't make it a sin, I would do it in a second.
That's true. That's a good point.
So it's weird because most of the things that are sins are things that I think there would be maybe a temptation to do.
Right. Yeah, this is not.
And they
like,
maybe involve other people too, right?
Yeah.
So that like it makes sense. It could affect. I mean, death. I guess affects other people.
I mean,
but
I
it's
guess
also your
maybe,
body.
yeah, like you don't want to abandon your family, but at the same, maybe that's
I'm not sure I
maybe
believe,
that's
though,
why.
that there are very many people who don't kill just because it's a commandment. Like, I think that when it comes
Right.
right down to it, if you're going to kill somebody, or if you have the desire to kill somebody, the fact that it's a sin might not
Just
Oh,
be
yeah,
the
'cause you don't have
strongest
that kind of brain.
dissuasion.
But it's also like these are like 10 commandments. It's not a 10 commandment.
Oh,
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
it's like I
It's
mean,
like
I guess
it's
technically
like a footnote.
Yeah, it's
Wait,
like
wait,
it's also like Catholic Church later was like, suicide's bad. Like it's like they
the
throw
suicide
stuff-
is not a 10th commandment.
No, like I mean,
But thou
they would
shalt
say
not kill is also
that's-
not a 10th
that
commandment.
Thou shalt not kill is, but like they
Well,
could tie it to that.
I don't know that it is.
Thou shalt not kill for sure is.
So I read, is Exodus that's in? And the 10 commandments as listed on the tablets are like, you can't cook like a baby in its mother's milk, and you need to celebrate. And the stuff about thou shalt not kill is what the burning bush says to Moses, but not as one of the 10 commandments. It's very. I need someone to explain this to me, how our modern conception of the 10 commandments has come to be, because it is not in the Bible that way.
You taught in
And
a
that's
church,
why-
right?
Yeah, I understand it. Maybe, but it's possible that it's just cultural what had learned. But
Yeah.
I heard it. I remember it being. It's also been a minute, but I remember it being like tablets, like a 10 Commandments.
Yeah.
There is a lot of like law, like Exodus, Leviticus are all law.
Yeah.
Those books are all law, which is just like it's pages and
Just
pages
all the stuff
of,
you're not allowed to do.
Yeah,
It's like
of
a procedural.
yeah, and it's
I didn't
like,
mean to steer it that
gets
direction, but
Very
I-
specific.
I knew that Todd knows a thing or two about this, so
It's been a minute.
It's been a
But
minute.
like, and also reading through Leviticus is real hard. It's a long read. It's not easy to get through. But I remember being a kid and be like, I should read the Bible for sure all the way through. And so I like started and I was like, this is misery. But yeah, because it just is like, if a guy, it just starts going through like the ifs and shoulds and whats.
I think you're gonna do some Jeff Fox.
If a guy, if you're a man and you're
Why-
thinking about killing somebody, you might be disobeying the 10 Commandments.
Why in God in all his wisdom did not write the Bible that way?
Oh my god! Yes.
The least he could do. Yeah, but it's yeah.
Well, I was thinking about also how weird it is in some way. I mean, this is a whole discussion, but like to pick and choose what we pay attention to and what we still do out of like the oldest books ever. And then I was thinking even like in like relationships, like how do we choose to do relationships? I was thinking of something else, but I also lost my train of thought. So y'all keep talking and then I'll get it back.
Okay.
It was something.
Is everyone losing their train of thought?
This is what
Okay,
it was.
Go ahead.
I I was just watching this show the other day. I watch way too much true crime. I'm like a disturbed person now, but like I was just thinking to myself, like, this is going to be all weird, but like, it's so interesting how when people are murdered, the cops are like, she was sexually assaulted. But then if like she's alive, they're like, how do we know you were assaulted?
You're right.
And I think that's so interesting because they never say that about a body. They never do.
Yeah.
And because it's just so interesting because they do the same tests, I'm assuming. But what I'm saying is I think it's just so interesting how people choose and pick like kind of like what they still believe and what they still go by now. And like what makes someone not trust an alive woman but trust a dead woman. And I know it's a weird like one-to-one comparison, but it kind of makes me think of that. Like how do we hold on to those things and why? And why would we do that when we know there are maybe better ways or other ways to do things?
I'm just wondering, in the situation where we don't believe the alive woman, is it because there isn't evidence in the same way that there is on the dead woman?
I would definitely think that it's probably like not as extreme or as obvious, especially because when I watch too much true crime, when you die, the blood goes to like where the injuries are. So it's like it usually typically will show more what happened.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure I might be lying, but I know there's this thing where it like I forget what it's called right now, but the blood all sinks to the bottom. So whichever direction you're lying, all of your blood goes to that way.
Right.
Yeah, like in your body too. So it's like dark. It'll be like dark bruised on one side. But anyway, it's interesting to me because I was just thinking of that. I was like, that's such a funny thing. Like the way, and then like that just to me, it just always kind of goes around the way people think and like, why do you think that only a man and woman can be together? If other people, if they know how to fuck each other, well, they just do it. Who cares? If they figured out how to do it. Yeah. Same thing with dying. If she figured out how to kill herself and she got a lot of back pain, let her go.
I like thinking about it like a technology. Yeah. We discovered something.
You put this thing in the hole and it works too. Why does it matter?
God is fine with anything if you can figure out how to do it.
Yeah. He's not gonna hold your hand. Figure out how to fuck it. It's good.
There's like that's like the piece about like, you know, that you want to like, America wants to put laws around morality where you're like, oh, you're going to make all like, what's the dream? Is the goal to make the Old Testament or the Bible the law of the land?
For some.
So yes.
Because
that is the goal.
You can't, it doesn't make anybody behave differently.
Right.
It doesn't like, as an ex-Christian, I can tell you, I would have believed that you can't make somebody a Christian.
Well,
doing all the stuff isn't what makes you a Christian. So if the goal is to make someone a Christian, that's not doing it. Can we move past that?
It's not persuasive.
Yeah, let's go to the next. Let's go to the next step, which is you live with people who don't believe. So now they are also with us. What else?
Yes. Oh, yeah, that's a good way.
One of the arguments I've heard is like, you know, you hear this a lot, is that if without it, then people would do all these things. But it's like, but if you look at crime rates amongst Christian, you know, populations, they're the same. It's not. There's no difference in, you know, just because someone believes in this Bible or that religion or whatever that they're committing less crimes. That's not a factor.
Like understood is like already a law. Like don't steal, don't kill, don't, you know, all of these things are already. We have those laws already. Because that's called morality. We all believe those things. That's a given. All these like fine detail things about like, you know, sexuality, whatever. You're like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Like if half of the population is not on board for those laws, then you can't have those laws.
Right.
Period.
And, and not to get too deep into religion, but if God really existed, it would be nice if he had made one of the commandments like thou shalt not put too much carbon dioxide into the air. You're not going to understand this for a couple thousand years, but this is a good one.
Right.
I'm seeing ahead.
Turns out there are no verses that are like you're not going to figure this out for a lot of years. It only has to do with that time and place, and might be part of the problem.
Right.
Wow, what a lack of foresight.
Yeah, come on, God.
Have you heard that Kamel Nanjiani bit about like he's like, if I read he was talking about like he grew up in an Islamic place where
Pakistan,
he's like,
right.
and he's like, I don't believe in that stuff. He's like, because it doesn't talk about things in modern day. He's like, women shouldn't drive a car. He's like, he's like, these are the rules, but it doesn't say that.
Right.
He's like, if it did, I'd be here today saying like, this is true. Someday there will be.
God should have put just one little nugget in
Give
there.
us a hint that you know what's coming.
Yeah,
Someday there will be a car and a woman should not drive it.
Thou shalt not make Godfather 3. This will not make any sense. Okay?
Oh my God. I want God's voice to sound just like that too. Will not make any sense, okay?
That's right.
But I'm doing it.
So sassy. Niccole.
Yes.
Okay, so what happened with your MRI?
MRI. Well, I got an MRI yesterday. I made a video of it on Instagram in case the audience is curious why I'm talking about an MRI. But no, nothing. I just have been having like nerve issues, I think, with my back. And plus I was like, why am I not? It's weird. I got this like huge surgery a year ago. And then really they just kind of sent me off into the world and didn't really tell me anything. And if they did, I don't remember it because I was on drugs. But yeah, so I was like, I just want to get it checked out, make sure everything's okay. And it was hilarious though, because I didn't realize it was going to be so long. I thought I'd gone and gotten MRIs, but it was an hour long. And so like as he's putting me into the machine,
Oh, wow.
he was like, so you're good? And I was like, yeah. And I had earplugs on and this other thing that was like smushing my head. And I was like, yeah, I'm good. And I'm like, you're acting like I'm going in here for how long is this going to be? And he was like, hour and a half. And I was like, what? I literally was like, roll me back out. I have to pee. Like, what are we doing, sir? Yeah. So I felt like it's so interesting because I don't know. At this point, I just go to the doctor's office and they're like, take your clothes off. And I'm like, okay, whatever, but doesn't matter because I'm like, that's what we're doing. But then you just never know what's happening. Yeah. I'm always surprised.
But the thing that I thought was like, are you serious? Not you. But you got there 2 minutes early.
Oh, yeah.
And they wouldn't let you in because you were early and they were closed.
Okay, I keep forgetting things I posted. Yes, I forgot about that. So I went to the office. First of all, it was scheduled for 9:30 a.m. on a Sunday, which was so weird. I thought it was, when she said the 25th, I didn't even think it was a weekend. So as it was like coming up, I was like, is this right? And it said it on the website and it said it in my phone. So it's an appointment. And so I went and I got there. I walked in. It was I think it was like 8:55 when I walked in.
Because they said get there at 9.
Yeah, they said they get there at 9. I walked into the office, the place where they said number 105 is like the office. It was dark and locked. So I was like, oh, fuck. Like, I did get this wrong. This is not right. And so then I went to another office and it was like a pediatrician's office. And they were like, oh, yeah, go across the hall and they can help you out with that office because they're like the same office. And I was like, okay, thanks. I go across the hall. And there were two women there. It was also a dark office. The lights were all off.
Jeez.
One woman was on her phone talking to somebody and she started kind of like turning away from me to keep talking.
Oh my God.
And then the other lady was there and I was like, hi, I'm here for an MRI. I just want to make sure. And I was going to say, I want to make sure I'm in the right place because the office is locked. So maybe am I going to the wrong room? And this office also looks locked. So what's happening, And I didn't even finish my question. And the lady that was on her damn phone turns around and is like, sweetheart, you're early. You don't need to be here. We got it. We're going to take care of you just a second. Just go back to the office and wait for us. And I was like, oh. And she kept calling me like sweetheart and dear and honey and sweetie. And I was
in
like,
such a condescending way, it sounds like.
and she did it in such a rude way. And she had she just was like, just so like, and you can go, like nodding all
my
big, like you can go to the office and wait for us. And I was like, okay, but the office was locked. So I was like literally just standing in the hallway and and then she came and then opened the door. And it's just like, it was 8:58 when I was talking to them. And she's saying I'm early as if I did something wrong. I feel like that happens to me a lot in LA though. If I'm early, people are like, oh yeah, but you're early. And I'm like, well, I know, but it's like, not early. 2 minutes? 2 minutes? I wasn't even rushing. I was just kind of wandering around. So yeah, it was the whole experience was crazy.
And you can't get too spicy because they're about to put you in a tube.
Yeah.
You gotta
and I'm like, who's the one going to put me in there? Because if it's
right.
you, I got to be nice.
That's right. Yeah. You can't be like, can I finish?
And I actually.
Am I in the right place?
I know. I actually, because as we know, as we've heard on this podcast many times, I'm pretty mean if I want to be. I'll just say what I think. But I was like, I'll be nice to not, and I don't need to have drama at 9 o'clock on a Sunday morning. And then, I wanted to say something. But I was proud of myself for just being okay. Weird. And I didn't say, I was like, and she asked me for my insurance and I was like, boop. I just put it down. I was like, not being too friendly, but not being mean. And I was like,
I feel like medical people are either awful or super nice.
Absolutely.
There's something that I keep seeing online that's like the mean girl in high school to nurse pipeline is real.
Yes.
And I'm sure there's plenty of lovely nurses who are listening, but there's a lot of nurses who are mean girls.
I think there's a difference between the actual nurses and the people at the counter.
Yeah.
Like the receptionist people are like a different type. Like if you're going into nursing, you're like caring about people. Like I feel like
At one point, you were.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
At one point, you were.
And then
Yeah.
you get
Well,
sick of them.
compassion
I don't
fatigue's
know.
a real
Yeah.
problem.
I think there's
Yeah.
and I think there's a lot of what we always forget is everything's customer service, and sometimes that shit gets old. And also, they probably deal with a lot of annoying people. But it's like my thing is gauge the situation before you just think I'm some annoying idiot. You know, like they told me to be here. I don't know what to tell you. I'm supposed to be here. I'm not supposed to be here. I'm not doing it for fun, babe. Like I'm here because they told me to be.
Right.
So yeah, it's like that's what bothers me is I'm like, just let me finish the question. I wasn't even mean. I was just like asking a question. You know?
I can't wait to ride that tube.
Yeah, like you're about to put me in this little teeny tube with loud noises and earplugs, and they didn't even have any
The
music
problem
to
is,
play.
It's like she's taking it personally
Yeah.
in
Or
a
like
way.
I was saying, you guys are late to work, so get to work. That's what
yeah,
she's
like
hearing.
she's like being defensive in from an ego point of view of like we will do our job, we will get to it. It's like that's not what you were. You
I
were
wasn't
challenging
saying,
her
why aren't you guys
ability
doing your
to do
job?
her
Yeah.
job.
Yeah.
I have tried
That's true.
I've tried to fix those things before where I sense that that's happening,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, I know what's happening. You think that I'm saying you're not here on time or something, and then I go in for like a just to be clear, I'm with you. Like I know
How
you.
does that work
I
for
just
you?
don't
'Cause
know.
I'm always tempted to do
It
that.
never works.
Okay.
Because they're already mad at me, and anything else I say is like they want me to shut up. And so like
Yeah.
every word that comes out is just it doesn't change.
Yeah, because they're not. I feel like at that point the ears have turned off,
That's
and they're
right.
just like, "Sweetheart, you're early. Get out." And
Yeah.
like, so it's just it's. There's some people you can't, and I
Yeah.
think it's just because they get so used to just dealing. Like, because I'm gonna be real. When I went in the office, the guy came in after me. He was kind of stupid, so I get it. Like she was like, "Sweetheart," and he was like, "Huh?" Like he needed to be called sweetheart and directed around like a 2-year-old, but I didn't. You know, I was just like, okay, man. Like,
Well, when the age of augmented reality comes in, everyone will have an intelligence score, and they'll know, oh, this person,
This
they're
dum-dum.
green. I'll
Oh
treat
my
them
God.
like they're smart. You have to earn your green.
It's gonna be like my Uber.
Yeah, you get 5
score.
stars.
Yeah, like
how many
it, like
social skills do you have?
Yeah, whenever I think it was like 92%, and I was like, why that 7? 8. Why that 8? Mine is low.
But yours will also
Nuts.
pop out. It'll be like solidarity with the customer service reps, and they'll be like, "Oh, he understands our
gets
plight."
it.
Oh man, yeah. This episode of what is it? Black Mirror is like.
So was it my Lyft score, Tony, or my Uber
I think so.
score?
By the way, get ready for the most insane thing you've ever heard.
Well, unfortunately, I can't remember exactly all the details, so you might have to swoop in. But I think it was my Uber or my Lyft score,
Yeah.
and it was like 4.8. Was that right?
I don't know. All I know is it wasn't 5 stars.
It was 4.8, and I'm like, who didn't give me 5 stars? Like, what? I've only been lovely, kind, clean. I don't eat. I'm not drunk. I'm not throwing up in your, like, I've only been a model passenger. So who fucked me over?
And how do we improve if we don't know why?
What can
So I did what anyone would do, and I called them
Oh my!
just to find out. Could I just find out? Was it a series of 4 stars, or was it like 1 star? Because I only have X many, so the math is not math. And I'm just gonna say the TikTok. Well, so anyway, he just kept he just kept repeating that they are not at liberty to disclose any of that. They're not at liberty to disclose any of that. They're not, like, just broken record, which is probably how I would treat me too. Because when I hear it back, I think that is totally insane.
When you hung up, he was like 1 star.
I was like, let me just take out
Oh my God.
0.25
I didn't even
for that one. That was a lot.
I didn't even think about the fact that I might have gotten a rating for that we're getting ratings for everything. But then, of course,
so against it.
can I say that I justify it by, like, I have ordered Ubers or Lyfts for people. Obviously, they're the ones dragging my score down.
There you go.
Right?
That's possible.
Can I tell you something? I used to give all the shits about my Uber score. I am the biggest people pleaser. I need my score to be 5
Yeah.
plus. They need to make a new rating for me.
I'm relating to this.
And I used to give all the shits, and then I would like get in the Uber with my wife, and I'd be like, her score is the same as mine.
Okay.
And she doesn't give 2 shits. She gets in the car and she's like, you're going the wrong way. And they're like, what? And she's like, turn right here. I'm like, okay, sorry. And she's like, that's fine. But like, there's no
the
like.
injustice
I would be
of
like,
you being you
sorry,
and having to say-
sorry, you're turning right. You should turn right. You should turn right.
Well,
like,
this
I'm,
is
like,
what
so nice.
we're
Doesn't
learning,
fix it.
right? People pleasers. Who are
doesn't
you
work.
pleasing? Are you even pleasing yourself at this point? No.
Nobody wins.
Nobody wins.
But like, she'll do the thing where she like calls the car. It's like to go to the airport and like doesn't have her shit together. The car gets there, dude sits there for like 10 minutes, and I'm like, he's here, you gotta go. And she's like, I don't know. And like, I'm gonna get I gotta do like, and I'm like, your score is dropping right now. But it just nothing. Mine's same as hers. No one cares.
Yeah.
This is shocking.
I think it's kind of that thing of like, there's always going to be someone that doesn't like you.
That's
like
right.
for me, I have a lot of them, but you know, and it's just always going to be someone.
Do you?
But I hate that.
I mean, it's hard. I hate it too. I hate it.
But just last night, I counseled Daniel. What did I said? Feel like I said something good about this. What did I say? Do you know?
I don't have any memory of our conversations.
Wow.
This
I do
had
think
a lot of impact. On
I had
both
a
of you.
feel. I have a vague memory of talking about something
Oh, I
related
know.
to this.
There's a service you go to.
Yes,
And
yes.
you don't
Okay,
want to
right,
go
right,
to
right,
them anymore
right.
because
Sounds dirty,
it's
Elias.
really
It's a
did.
rub and tug.
That's
JK,
exactly
JK.
what I heard. Yeah.
because it's inconveniently located and the person is kind of mean, but you are worried about like hurting their feelings.
Well,
so
it's
you will
somebody that
continue.
I know.
Yeah.
I've known for a long time, and so I feel like. I feel like
Todd and I both are trying to figure it out over here, and we both said the same thing at the same time. Yeah.
and I feel like I feel bad. I feel bad,
Yeah.
but it's a service relationship,
Mm-hmm.
but the idea that there's somebody who
Yes.
is like pissed at me or doesn't like something I've done, it's just too much. I will go to drinks with people, and I haven't, this has been a while, but I will go to drinks with people that I do not have the time. I don't really want to go to drinks. I've seen them recently. But I will go because just so that they can't say that I'm not the kind of, just so they can't say that I'm the kind of guy that wouldn't go to drinks with them.
Listen, it's
It's
not always
crazy.
a bad thing.
How much
I
of-
think we got to split. My quick thing is, I think we just have to split the difference between like a person that goes all the time and a person that flakes all the time or whatever.
Right.
Because that's where you find what you really want, probably, right in the middle.
And I remembered what I said, the wisdom that neither of us remembered. It was sometimes you have to allow yourself to be the villain in someone else's story.
That's
I didn't make that up. I got it on like
No, that's
Instagram or
true.
something. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
you gotta if what you want is to not go to this person for the rub and tug.
What I usually have to get. I have done that,
my water.
but it has to get really far. Like
Yeah.
I have had.
just deciding you want to go to someone else is enough for
Well, there was somebody that I grew up with, and like his mom. Right, before I even really was friends with him, his mom ran this like, the school had something where you sell candles, and you're supposed to get your people to buy candles, like a fundraiser, but nobody. We were poor. These are expensive fucking candles. Like I couldn't sell any of these. Maybe I sold one to my mom or something, and I turned it in late, whatever. And so I became friends with this guy, and then his mom apparently ran it, and she's like, "I know you. You're the one who was late with your fucking candle." I was like, "Who gives a fuck about that?" Like whatever. And I was always a flake.
Yeah.
Because of that one thing I did. And then like years fucking later, I was like 29, and it was like, these people still fucking think of me like this. Fine. Fuck all of you. You can have it. You can have your opinion of me. I'm done trying to prove you wrong. I can't. And it's not like, that's your business. But it took that fucking long.
I still
29
have
years,
those
yeah.
where I have to release those things. It's
Yeah.
like an active choice.
Yeah.
And it like when I find it in me to make the choice to be like, this person isn't going to like me, and I'm fine with that. It's such a gift to me.
so hard.
It's really hard to do. But like, yeah, man, how many people in your life do you not like? Do you have many people that you?
a lot.
Do you?
I'm just a little less patient. I'm learning a lot about
People.
No, but that's.
But I mean,
good.
there's a lot of people. But I say that to say that when people don't like me and it hurts my ego so badly for so long, I have to be like, But maybe my personality just isn't something they like. Who cares? I don't like, this person or whatever.
There are people that just
not
don't get
everyone
along.
has to be your cup of tea.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, that makes sense if I'm not somebody's cup of tea.
It's just like dating where you're like you like somebody and they don't like you back, and it feels bad to like because I like them. I want their approval because I like them.
For me, the one that gets me is when I feel that it's not. The person thinks something about me that isn't true. If they don't like me and it's true, fine, whatever. I am who I am. But if it's like you think I'm this way, I want to prove you wrong by overcompensating, and it's like that's where it gets to be a fucking.
Adam
head.
Carolla used to always say that like the reviews that don't get you at all don't even matter. Just disregard them. Like they didn't bother him at all. And I remember thinking, those ones bother me the most because being understood is like the most important thing to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I do not give if someone like doesn't like me for something that's true, it kind of is like, okay, like what are you going to do? You don't like me.
Like a political thing.
Right?
You don't like me. That's me. Yeah.
But if you don't like me because you think I'm something I'm not, then I'm going to, but this is, I can change your mind. I don't know what it is. Like it just, I can't.
I'm sure for all of us, it goes back to not feeling understood enough as kids or something.
Maybe.
I mean, but everyone has it.
And but I also think like, cause I've been dealing with not dealing with, but like focusing a lot on releasing ego from like the problems that I have with people, because a lot of times it's more just like, but why? But why? And it's like, because who cares? Like, because that's why. And so I just think like, I do think a lot of it is not ego like cockiness, like ego. It's just like ego, like the way we want to be perceived. And, you know, we always have to like, and sometimes there's just no convincing people. My mom and I actually run into problems like this all the time. And when you were talking, I was like, wow, because my mom always says that what I see is like, you know, her doing this, like things that she's done in the past or whatever. She doesn't do it anymore. But she's like, you always see me like that. And I'm like, well, you are like that. And then like, it becomes this like thing. It's hard.
If family,
Has she
it can be real
changed?
bad.
I mean, not in my opinion, but I think it's like sometimes people don't want, there's also something to be said about people that have like, and I'm not talking about my mom, I'm talking about just generally, that don't have as much self-awareness. So they don't change, but then they think they have or whatever it is. And it's very difficult because they think that they're trying to prove they're giving something to you and you're like, you're not, and it's okay. And we don't, you know.
Yeah. There's that part where it's hard to be objective and see your own behavior.
Big time.
Yeah. So
I know I struggle with that a lot.
Yeah, that the ego piece of all of everything is what is happening. What, like the purpose of ego really, like I feel like at the core of the whole thing, it's just like stay alive. Like that's what the ego thing is doing. But with that baggage, with that comes all this baggage of like what I am in the world and how like it inflates past like my existence to like how I'm in community is part of my reason for existing. Yeah. Therefore, how I am in my community affects my ego. Yeah. Like everything.
Well,
like,
the reason we have ego is an evolutionary, like we needed it because if you're out of the tribe, you're dead.
Yeah. Like ultimately, like I'm getting really psychedelics right now, but like ultimately the humans are we're just like one organism, right? Like it's like bees or ants or something. Like there are individual bees, they're all doing the same goddamn thing. They're all coming back and serving the one purpose of the hive. An individual bee is not that interesting. It's the way they work together, that's the thing. And humans are the same thing. Like it's not like we want to
podcaster bee.
What's that?
And we fly to you.
But ultimately, like we're like one organism that's doing the thing, and the ego keeps the individual thing alive so that the whole can be alive. It's like why community, like why like getting kicked out of the tribe is so terrifying, like why it's connected to our survival. All that shit is just in our guts. Like that's who we are. But like the ego gets overwhelmed on like having to solve all these problems, and it's like it's so fucking it's so annoying to always be disentangling the ego from like what's actually happening.
Yeah, because like I think about that with dating and all the single friends I have, because I haven't even been dating and it's been beautiful. It's been so beautiful. I've just been peaceful and loving and it's happy. But when I see my friends that are still dating, it's so fascinating. Every time people go on like a first or second date and then they don't get any more calls or the person ghosts, which I don't think you should ghost, but I think when the person says, I don't want to date you anymore, you ain't for me, it's like this big thing, this big to do. And it's like, but first of all, did you even like them? And second of all,
that
like,
happens to me all the time.
Yeah. And second of all, it's like, it really, I feel like if I was like, Todd, I had fun doing that podcast, but we are not going to go to dinner after this. You'd be like, okay, but you know, but it's like, but if I was like, Todd, we are on a date and we're not going to go on a date again, you would be like, what?
Yeah.
You know, because it's like you want to be loved and
But it feels,
cared for,
I think it also like
respected or
taps
whatever.
into that primal fear
Yeah.
that you're going to be exiled.
That's what it, yeah, exactly.
Like, I'm not good enough. I'm not like, that's why, you know, you talk about ego. It's like so much of that is about, you know, not wanting, I need to be this. I need to like be in control of who I am. And part of that is denying the things that you don't want to be, right?
That's
Your
so
shadow.
real.
And that fear of your own shadow, right,
Yeah.
becomes powerful.
It's
That's
so
so real.
interesting because really, and I see this so clearly as a person not, you know, as a person who's married and as this age that I am now and looking back, that like you can be and most likely are a perfectly great person.
Right.
And that doesn't mean you're the right fit for every single person. Like that'd be
Yeah.
insane if your soulmate is every single person, you know? And yet it always for me.
But wouldn't that
Yeah.
also be awesome?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
It'd
I
be
actually
so
believe
beautiful.
that like there's not just one person for everyone.
Sure.
There's a multitude of people, but it's not
sure.
everyone, you know.
Yeah.
And two great people can go out together and they just don't hit it off. And yet I think that I felt the need to sort of have a reason, it always bothered me when it was like a perfectly great guy, but I just didn't feel it and I couldn't figure out why. And I probably would pathologize him not to him, but like, well, there's all these things wrong with him. And I was never able to accept someone not liking me.
Mm-hmm.
Are there people
Yeah.
who can accept this?
Well, yeah, because I think that's
And are
when-
they sociopaths?
Well, I think at some point you might have to. I mean, I said, you know, I'm just being honest. I've had some fallouts with friends over the past couple of years because I have had dealt with a lot, and I'm a kind of different person. And so, like, I think that it had to just be me being like, it doesn't matter why they don't like me, and it's also not necessarily your fault for them not liking.
Well, that's what I'm
you.
saying. It's,
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
it can be just sort of like what happens between two people.
Yeah, and I had to do it with my breakup too, of just being like, we just were not compatible. We were great friends, we were great lovers, we were great all that, but we weren't like we weren't people that were going to make a life together, and that's
Right.
like kind of all it is in the end.
Yeah,
But
totally.
and that's when like the breakups start to get almost sadder in a way when you get older, because you realize that's kind of all it is like, oh, we just like can't make a life together, but that doesn't mean we don't love each other. You know?
That is sad.
I just saw it was an interesting graphic, and it was like two profiles of people, and it's like it was trying to represent how what you are to another person, what they think of you as, is a representation of. Oh my God! This is going to be
Feels like I'm
too confusing. It was like nesting dolls of like. It was like the other person's profile is in your head, but within their head is their vision of what you are, and so it's basically like a way of understanding how we are not ever really understanding who it is we're with. We are only ever with an idea of what that person is. And when you kind of like realize that, and you realize like, oh, this person who doesn't want to be around you anymore, it's like it's not that they don't want to be around you, it's that they don't want to be around the you they have in their head.
Yes.
And
But
if you met that version of you, you wouldn't recognize it.
Yes.
You would not know who that person
But
is.
it feels unfair that they formed this
Yes.
version of you, and then
Right.
you want to wrestle with that. Like, no, you don't get it. You have misunderstood who I am.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, that's
I'm
this-
great in an Uber.
that's your
the
whole
next
career.
step of it but that's the next step of
Yeah,
it
it
is
is
being
my
like,
whole career.
is not saying it's not fair, but just being like, it is what it is.
Yeah, it
Radical
doesn't matter.
acceptance.
Yes.
Radical acceptance.
It's also it's so much of it is like how much, like, to your point, it all comes down to like, do I actually care about this? Like, is it like if it's a person you don't like? I've had people that didn't like me that I also didn't like,
Yeah.
and I was like, wait a minute, I don't want to hang out with this
Yes.
person.
Big
Where I'm
time.
like,
And
why
same
do
with
I give
dating.
any shits? Dating is crazy because like we think about like. If you go like, hey, I'm going to go on a business meeting, like I have to go meet with somebody for lunch about business stuff, you're not like, you're going like the expectation for this relationship is that we both meet, shake hands, we might see each other again, but maybe not, whatever. There's no other expectation. You're going to get along with everybody.
Right.
Because who gives a shit?
Right.
Like there's no weight. But when you're dating, you're like, look, you're opening this person. They're auditioning for like a deep place in your soul.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's
like
such an interesting
you're
way.
like you're like these two people are coming together, going like opening that chasm in them to go like, does this are we like by protecting it at the same time? So it feels worse.
And in the chasm, there's two just like little scared inner children.
totally.
Like, fuck. Yeah.
Because even if you don't like that person, when you open up, just that you're going on a date means that you both are accepting this thing that's happening.
And you're opening yourself up to that.
That's it.
Even. Yeah. Because that's hard. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, it makes sense. I understand why. I wish I could get around those
Yeah,
things.
it's really
I mean, I don't have to date anymore, but I wish I could get around. Like, I know that I don't give a shit. I know that I truly don't. Like,
But you'll
if
get
I
caught.
could find it.
Well,
Yeah,
it
I
feels
get caught.
unsafe to not be liked.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
on
Yeah,
a deep
because it's
level.
like, well, then who likes me?
Yeah.
Because I have that when I have I
You
have like
like
a
you.
trouble, yeah, and I'm like, I like me, but like, oh my god, if other people don't like me, like, am I the worst? And it's like, no, I'm still just me, but like, I just need to find like the better people. Because I've also had that too, where people, I'll be like, my friend's being a jerk, and they're like, your friend's always a jerk, you're just noticing it today. And I'm like, oh, because it's the same thing. Like, I don't even like them. I had my friend went on a date the other day, and she was like, this guy was talking, and I like wasn't even listening because it just started getting so boring. And then she's like, he didn't text me, and I'm like, I'm confused. He sounded really fucking boring. You sounded really uninterested. You guys want to hang out again? Why?
Because there's nothing more annoying than
yeah.
someone you don't like not liking you.
I was doing you a favor. I gave you a chance, you medium ugly brunette. That's what they always say on the internet now too, like a medium ugly man. But it's true, and that's what I always feel like too. I'm like, I convinced you to let me date you, and now you play me.
I know. Todd, I know I know the story, but how did you and Sarah meet?
we just like the most normal. Like we just met at a friend's house.
As it should be.
It was like boring industry standard. But yeah, she. I like her because she's mean, and I don't like me. So
you have something in common.
Yeah.
Wait, you like her because she's mean, and you don't like you?
Yeah. So when we're early on, she used to be mean. She's not mean, but like she's just like very matter of fact. Like Sarah is like, when you're like, does anybody not care? Sarah doesn't care. Like if someone doesn't like her, she's like, okay, like bye.
Wow.
My dad's like that too. Where it's like he truly is like, they don't like me. My dad's mentality is they don't like me. They're stupid. Like he's
so
just
good.
like
Yeah.
moves on. I don't get it, but like Sarah's
How did
just
he
very-
develop that?
Do you think it's
don't
confidence?
know.
Do you think that they're very confident people?
I have thought about that. Like Sarah is confident.
Yeah.
My dad, I don't know. Like I've thought about it for years. I just honestly, you have two kids. They're totally different.
Are
from one
Sarah's
another.
parents still together?
Yeah.
Were they? Was it like kind of a low dysfunction family?
Like a
Yeah, it
not
wasn't-
dysfunctional.
Well, I don't know if there's
see
such a
what you
thing as
mean.
no dysfunction.
Yeah, I
but
see
like,
what you're saying. Yeah, but my family was pretty low dysfunction.
Really?
I mean, I had Jesus stuff, but like ultimately, like we all got along.
the
Pretty
ultimate
well.
dysfunction, if you ask me.
Yeah, the most dysfunction. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's it. She's just like people come out of the womb.
Yeah, it might be
who
just
they
that.
are.
And I also,
It
but
might
I
be
also,
that.
yeah. And there's a lot of like just being able to accept who you are. And it is a lot about how you're raised, who
Yes.
you're raised by. I keep saying that I think we're like the last generation that's going to be like, with these rules or like with these like ways of being women or like, I want to get a man's attention or like whatever it is, because we're kind of still hanging on to like what our moms were taught by their moms.
Totally.
And I think like now we're finally realizing like we don't have to be like that. And being who you are feels so fucking good. And it's like the only way to be happy in life really is just to like exist.
I feel like I'm only just learning this.
Me too.
Yeah.
I was reading something where somebody was saying like when people die, obviously they're like, I should have just been myself the whole fucking time.
There's this gal on TikTok that TikTok just served up to me, and she's every now and then something just pops in there.
Oh
like,
wait,
where is this coming from?
This is a twat.
This is a
That's
twat.
this week on TikTok.
Yep, this week on TikTok. So she, very quirky artist type, and she makes hand puppets of her ex-boyfriends. And it's hilarious. And she's kind of hilarious. And she's teaching herself how to play the accordion. And she did a TikTok where she's like, I just realized that I want to just do the things I want to do and be happy. And I've never been happier. I just want to make puppets of my ex-boyfriends and learn the fucking accordion. And it's like, yeah, what the fuck? Like so many things keep us from doing things that are just like, I don't know, you think, well, that would be weird or something, or that's frivolous, or that's a waste of time. But it's like, those are the best things to do. Well, and I was thinking, I want to go alone.
Oh, he points right at Allison. I was going to call it out. I'm going to audio
I
describe
want
this
to go
moment.
alone to a water park.
Oh, that's
Wait, are you
adorable.
serious?
I
wanna
love
go
that.
one day,
I love this.
Just DQ to a water
Oh my
park.
gosh, I love this. You should
so on board with
definitely
that.
do this.
Yeah, right?
I used
Doesn't
to go
that sound
to Six
fun?
Flags by myself, and it was great.
Oh my
That
gosh.
sounds fun to me.
It's
I want
so
this for you.
For his birthday,
You
maybe.
don't have to wait in line. You just do what you
Just
want
do whatever the fuck. Just do some water slides.
That's
I
so
would-
fun.
I've known you for
so cute.
a decent amount of time, and I had no idea that you really wanted to go. That you
Well,
were
no, I was
even a
just trying
water
to think of
park
things.
guy.
I've been trying to think of things that would make
like,
me
what's
happy.
your accordion?
Yeah, most of them have to
Yeah.
do with being alone and doing things alone.
I remember seeing a couple that said they have like one night where like the mom gets one night for her things and the dad gets one night for his things. And like, I know it's probably hard with schedules and whatnot, but I thought that was kind of cool because he gets to like just go out and live and like be
Yeah.
a single person for one night.
My
Not
sister's
single
not,
husband.
yeah.
My sister's husband goes to death metal concerts
Yes, he does.
alone.
I love
But it
that.
kind of started.
Where is he?
Time to rock and roll, man.
It started
He's deep in the
kind
scene,
of
too.
out of
Is he
nowhere.
here in LA?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet I've seen him at show.
I'm sure you
Maybe,
have.
yeah. Oh my God, he should go see God Collider.
Hey, I just whenever I see him, I want to hear about the names of
Incredible.
the bands he's seeing
Yeah,
because
that's incredible.
that's the funnest part of death metal scene.
Oh, it's the funniest.
I think the funnest part is trying to read the names half the
Oh,
time.
yes, well-
that font they use so much.
Splatter fun.
It's like it is impossible.
It's gotten to be like a joke about itself.
Yeah.
Like it's not, it doesn't, none of it means anything anymore. Like my favorite is like seeing a flyer where it's like font, and then at the bottom it's like name of the band and
Oh my God.
where they're from. And you're like, what is this then? Isn't this doing that? That's the point, right?
What are you pulling up?
Oh, I made a Christmas card for him. A death metal on AI, like using Midjourney.
Death Metal
So
Santa.
good.
Oh my
Death
God,
metal
that font.
Santa, and I use that font. It says Merry Christmas.
That's crazy. That's hilarious. It's like tribal tattoo font.
Wait, this is your brother-in-law?
Yeah,
Yes.
her
Your-
husband.
Okay.
My brother-in-law as well.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
It's weird how that works.
I know.
But it-
That is
Everyone's
weird. That's really
brother-in-law.
weird because then it's like
Yeah.
almost like your siblings, but not you two because you have the same brother.
That's right.
It's true.
And sister. Wait, what's happening? Is this what marriage is? Is accidentally getting a sibling?
100. Like in-laws are like a strange thing. Like
He
in-law
is your
and
brother-in-law,
in-laws.
right?
He's my brother-in-law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you could also say he's your sister-in-law's husband,
Yeah.
but that's even more confusing.
If you want to distance yourself,
That's just distance.
It starts to get a little like,
yeah.
you know, like,
Removed.
well,
Yeah.
she's my sister-in-law. I guess he's my brother-in-law, even though he's not.
That's probably why black people just say cousin all the time.
Cousin's great.
I think I never really thought about that before, but that actually does make sense because if you have a big, huge family or just like a big network of people, it's easier to just be like, Uncle Charlie. He's not the uncle. He's just like the weird guy that you hang
Well, I
out
love
with.
that when
He's in there somewhere.
Yeah, he's there. He's in the mix.
I love that when it's like you're calling the person the relational
Yeah.
thing and not the actual thing, right?
I
like
like that.
like that person's more an uncle. I'm going to call them an uncle.
So should you be like, call like guys you dated like fuckboy Ben? Be like, Heartbreaker Charles. Just kidding. I don't know it, Charles. Yet.
It sounds like a real heartbreaker.
I know.
yeah.
That's
That's.
from that.
Oh no, go ahead.
Can I just say, I have been thinking a lot about what you've been saying lately.
Yeah.
This idea of like, what does want mean? To want to, what the fuck is that? Like, why do I, like, what is it to want to do something or want
Oh, man.
something? But like, look, if I have a religion these days, it is like we are all in a simulation.
Yeah.
And if we're all in a simulation, doing the thing you want is the point. Like all this thing of like listen to your inner self or even praying. If there's no God, when you're praying, you're just talking to you and
Right.
you're going, what do I want to do? And it like sometimes it's like hard to figure out what you want.
It's
But
so
what,
hard.
what is the tangible thing of want? What is that thing? But when you figure it out and you lean into it, you find joy and you do the thing, right? Like if anybody's got it right, it's the fucking Satanists who say, do what thou wilt.
Right.
Like do what you want to do.
Well, if you so if you follow the science and you realize we don't really have free will, it's all based on your wants, and that you kind of realize that it's an illusion that we're making choices to begin with. Then the more you can lean into your wants, the more sort of like the way things are supposed to be, the role that you're supposed to play. Like obviously, don't go killing people or whatnot, but like.
Unless you want to.
Unless it's fun.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like
I really want to go to prison, so I'm into it.
Yeah, I mean, there's limits, but
right. Yeah, because I feel like all of this can be definitely taken the wrong way. You're saying this like we're all like reasonably responsible, decent.
you
good
have
people.
you have instincts, and those instincts are you should listen to those instincts. Now,
Absolutely.
and
That's
yet-
a big one, though.
I think that's right.
So big
Yeah.
because it's also like with breakups with anything. I can't believe how many times I'm just like, I knew X, I knew this thing, or I felt like I didn't want to buy this thing, or I felt like I didn't want to get this tattoo, which I did on one tattoo, and I was like, oh no. But yeah, it's like it's crazy.
but
like,
also,
you know.
but here, if you're afraid to follow your instincts, this is kind of like my little brain way of convincing myself
that he should go to a water park.
that I should definitely go to one. Well, you will never regret a choice you made that was wrong based on your instincts, but you will regret a choice you made that was wrong that wasn't on your instincts.
Oh, I see what you're saying. If you
So,
follow
like,
your instincts and you're wrong,
if you
won't
follow your
regret
instincts
it.
and you're wrong,
but if
you won't
hold
regret it.
yourself
No,
back,
because
you
you're like,
will
I'm true to
regret it.
myself.
Yes.
I did
Yeah.
what I wanted, and it didn't
Right,
come out
but
like
if
I
you
wanted.
did what you didn't want and you were wrong, you're a fucking asshole.
Right.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I have pitched two TV things
Yeah.
a long time ago. And on the second one, they're obviously neither of them got turned into shows. That's why I hadn't seen them. But on the second one, there were things where I let decisions, I
That's
let
a big
myself
one,
be
too.
overruled.
Creative
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, I let
Oh,
myself
yeah,
be
for sure,
overruled
creative
because I
stuff.
was like, these people know more than I do, and you know, if we do it my way, there's reasons that this could be. I don't know, my way. Maybe it's more risky or whatever. And I totally kick myself that I didn't push for what I thought was best, because it's like then at least if it didn't go, I would have known that it was like
could
what
live with that.
it was the project that I wanted it to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in that sense, yes, I think creatively,
Yeah.
Creatively,
it comes up a lot.
Yeah,
Big
definitely.
time. Yeah, and I feel like that's why, you know, when a show gets canceled, it's typically because it gets taken so far from the original point,
Right.
and all these cooks get in the kitchen and like, you know, we want to be craving her lifestyle. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, just let the person who's funny write the thing.
It's
you
so
know?
easy though. Well,
You're like,
you know,
this is a true crime show.
it's one thing if you don't have power and you have to
Yeah.
you have to do the notes, but it's like it's also easy in this business to have people tell you what the best thing,
Yeah.
and you don't like. They seem like experts. You think it should be
Sure.
appealing to this audience or whatever. Okay,
Yeah.
you know. But when you start doing that and you get away from your own instincts, that now you're on their terms,
Well,
and if it fails,
yeah.
then you blew it.
Before
Yeah.
the show started, we were talking a little bit about these things that have taken off on TikTok that like Hak Twa, that girl, or the like very demure, very mindful. And it's like, I don't think anyone could have predicted that those would have been the
I
cultural
predicted
phenomenon.
Haktua last
did?
year. Yeah,
Yeah.
go back to
Oh, I
Want
was
me to
like,
play the
wait,
clip?
what?
yeah.
So
you
I don't
can't.
think anyone knows,
No.
is where I'm going with that.
Yeah, it's like it's also like you start marrying in commerce to the want, and it really throws
Yes.
a wrench
Mm-hmm.
because like you're like, fuck, I don't want to give up, but like if it goes, I could like get some money,
Yeah.
and it makes this all
And
easier.
it's that it's hard. Yeah, it's hard to know which decisions are going to be the good ones to make,
Right.
Because it's like, but I had the same situation happen with me. I felt like the craziest year of my brain was 2022, and I'm like recovering from it still because I'm like, I don't have a job, so you know when you don't have a job, and you just like process everything. You're like, okay, like what happened like in 2022 on March 5th? And why? Why did I say that? You know, like, but I really have been though, because I'm just like thinking about like all the times I go against my instincts or like whatever it is. And then also in 2022, I had a therapist that I really liked, but like also thought of as like too much as for advice, or like I went to all of my friends and would ask them all for, you know, opinions about my stuff. And then I found out that I felt like I was always going crazy because I was always asking other people. And like, this is the first year in forever where I've been like, why don't I just like not send the longest text in the world to every friend I have? You know what I mean? Because they are all tired of me too. They're all over it. And so like the way that, you know, so then I'm just like, I'll just make my own decision and see what happens. A billion times happier. I mean,
'cause you
life is not
know.
great, but it's happy. It's like my brain feels settled. Yeah, because you know.
Did you post something from Glennon Doyle in Untamed where she talks about
Yeah.
like she talks, I don't know how I feel about her, but she talks about getting real quiet and like dipping down into the knowing.
Yes.
Because she for a long time lived her life to please other people. And I also, a friend once said to me, Allison, stop being such a what do I do? And I was like, what? And he's like, you're always like, what do I do? What do I do? You know what to do. Just do it. It's like, but I don't know what to do. But for some reason, that always, it was Michael Rosas, who's been on the show, that has always stuck out to me. Because I used to always, like, no matter what, I had to poll everyone first. So I didn't make the wrong decision.
Yeah.
We have this. It's like this. I mean, this is not really the same, but kind of is with when you improv. When you're a kid, you can be an amazing improviser because you have nothing in your brain. You're just like living the dream, right? You do whatever, you don't care. But as we grow up, we see, oh, that person's looking at me like I'm dumb, so I'm dumb, or like, you know, I shouldn't do that because they think that's weird. And so then we get all these things in our heads. Then we feel like I don't trust myself. I don't know the answer. When if you sit in the stillness, I mean, you usually do like I really will. I'll know what I should do, and then I'll just be like arguing with myself for like months, and then ask a million people. But it's like at the end, you know, because it was there.
That happens every time you quit a job. Every time you quit a job, you're like, shit, I should have done that a lot sooner. Every time. No one is like, gets a job and is like, I quit right away when I knew. Like you get miserable, and you know you don't want to be there, but like fear.
Yeah, and you fight with it in your head and
it's
try to
like,
justify it.
I kind of like, I don't know, universe stuff. I don't know where to assign it, but like there's like a thing of like when you jump, there's always something to land on.
What do they call it? Like leap in the net will appear. Yeah, that's always been a theme for me. It's just like because there's no way to do it. My mom, when I first moved back from, I was on a show in New York, and when I moved back after the show got canceled, I was like, life is over. I'm so scared.
The Jordan Klepper show?
The Jordan Klepper show. And so when I moved back here, I was so scared, and I was looking for apartments. I didn't know what to do, and my mom kept saying, whatever you do, get an apartment that you'll grow into because I didn't want to spend money, and I was scared to get anything because I didn't know what I was going to do for a job. Anyway, long story short, I've lived there 6 years. It's a very big place. It's very homey. I'm going to move soon, but it's like it's been exactly that, an apartment I grew into because it's a nice place. And like that's how I feel like you should think is like it's going to be okay. You have to trust the process kind of.
That's such good advice from your mom.
It feels
I like that.
luxurious to do what you want, but ultimately it is like you're gonna get there one way or another. Ultimately, it's like the right thing, but it feels like selfish or something. Maybe indulgent is the word.
And selfish, yeah.
You know that show 6 Feet Under?
Yeah.
Which did you watch? 6 Feet Under? Anyone here?
I did.
Yeah. So like that show, ups and downs.
Yeah.
But when it ended. The last few episodes of that thing, that I carry that with me, that theme of just life, you're gonna die. So you might as well just do whatever the fuck you want. There are no rules. You can live it any way you want. Like the way the mom was like, I'm just gonna live by myself and date these guys, and that's fine. You know, that's fine. You get to invent the fucking rules because you are going to die.
Yeah.
Should I just watch the end of that show?
I don't know. It's a good show. It has rough seasons, and there's that one episode that just like whoa, it's like really
traumatized everyone. Yeah.
Although I wonder if it still would be, but it's worth it. It was good. I felt.
Right.
Yeah, I really I liked most of it. I think it was literally like one season that I wasn't crazy about.
Yeah, that might be
it
right.
comes back strong, I think, at the end.
Yeah.
Let's move on to Podcast Pals product picks.
Podcast Pals product picks.
All right, Niccole.
saying that?
That is Robin Shore.
I love it because it's always, you can always tell when it's a guest because it's like they're saying something and they're like in the background. Okay, I have a product. I was going to show it to you guys. I don't know why. I brought it because I've been bringing it everywhere. So I have really bad TMD or like TMJ, whatever that is. I'm always complaining about health
Is that your lock jaw?
Yeah, it's like your jaw gets really tight and clenched. And like I clench my jaw at night when I'm stressed or something. And so I just end up with like a bunch of headaches. And it even makes me have an earache because it's like by the joint. Anyway, the other day, someone just randomly used this like face massager. I'm sure, Allison, you've seen stuff like this. But like it's like
I
these
have
things.
seen that.
But this is like one that vibrates.
Ooh.
Can you hear it? It sounds like a vibrator, actually, kind of. But you just like put it on your face. I use it on my jaw like this. You're supposed to like push it up this way, and it's supposed to be tightening for your face too and everything. I don't notice that stuff, but I love it. Makes my jaw feel so much better. Takes all the tension out of it, and I just literally will sometimes just do it in the car, like oh god, because it's relaxing. So I say get one. It was like $20, I think, on Amazon, and there's like 2 different ones that come in the package too. I
That's
love
cool.
them. They
Is
feel
it
crazy,
USB
too.
charge?
No, it's a battery.
Battery.
Yeah.
How old fashioned? How
I
quaint.
know. I was like, double A.
Everything on Amazon always comes in twos.
Yeah.
They're always like, here, have an extra one.
Yeah. Like,
It's
even
$4.
our man
Have
is
another
one.
one.
Yeah, we don't
I
so true.
I ordered a 2-pack of dog bowls, but they sent me 2-packs. So
Well,
I
that's always the thing. I always end up getting like when I'm ordering apples on Instacart.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be like, I
This
want
is a
5
you
apples,
problem.
and then Allison's like, you want 5 pounds of apples? It's like, I just want 5 fucking.
And I've had that happen before where they gave me 5 like bags of potatoes because I think I was like trying to say 5 potatoes.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God.
No one at the store called and was
No.
like, you don't
I
want
know.
5 bags of potatoes.
It blows my mind that they don't say like, are you sure you said 5 bags of potatoes? But I mean, maybe I love French fries. So
That's the one person who'd be offended. Yes, I meant 5 bags of potatoes.
Exactly.
Do not question my order.
exactly.
Todd, what is
Hi.
yours?
Okay, so I a few months ago started getting into bar shampoo instead of the.
Yes, I've heard of this.
I'm way into it. I also Amazon. But I think it's called High Bar and HIBAR. I'm so into it. I have dude hair who no one cares about. So if I know, like, my wife is specific in particular about hers, but
Right.
you could try it and see what you think. But it's nice to not be throwing more plastic in the thing.
I was gonna ask like what?
Yeah,
is
what's the
for
upside?
it,
It's
yeah.
just like one less plastic thing, and it's
What do you
nice.
do? You suds it up in the hands or something?
yeah, you
Like
do,
a bar
and then you
soap.
just rub it on your head.
Oh, you
you
rub
rub it on there.
you rub the bar on your head.
Yeah.
Does it smell good?
Yeah, it smells great. I'm into it. And
Bar shampoo.
yeah, it's nice. It's just like my section where my soaps are. There's just like all bars, no
Do you have
plastic.
do you condition as well or no?
I do have a conditioner. Yes,
A bar?
a bar.
Oh, a bar.
Oh yeah, I went the whole way.
The whole
I-
suite
it's
of
really
bars.
it's
Bar
kinda
toothpaste?
Nice. should make bar
They
toothpaste.
Get a chunk off of it. Why not?
What are we waiting for?
They have like dog ones like that where it's like a little bar.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not toothpaste. I don't
if
know
I
what
don't
it is,
get pepperoni, toothpaste.
You can have it be like, you can have it be a bar that you just rub on your teeth.
Yeah.
Like that. Get it on there first, like they do
Like
at the
a pen or
dentist,
something,
and then
yeah.
you brush.
Yeah, what are we waiting for?
Right? Well,
I think it appears to exist.
Bar toothpaste?
Yeah.
Guess what I'm getting next week?
oh my God. It's the bar life.
Hashtag bar life.
I'm into it.
Pacific with the Pacific garbage patch ain't got nothing. I'm not gonna put anything in that.
I have one. It's a little bit fancy, okay? This is a fancy cosmetic product, but I was thinking, what do I use that I like rebuy and that I really like? And the concealer that I use, and I don't even think I can say it right. It's Yves Saint Laurent. No, I think I did say it right. It's YSL High Cover Radiant Under Eye Concealer. So they have these pens. It's called like Touche Clay or something, which is a very famous highlighter, but then they came out with a version that's an actual concealer, and I heard that they are discontinuing it, so I went on eBay and bought some, but they actually have it on Amazon, so I don't know if it's discontinued or not. But anyway, the reason I like this concealer is because I have mature under eyes now. They have PhDs. They smoke. They stay out till all hours. No, I've got lines and creases and all that junk. And so it doesn't crease as much as some other ones. It's like pretty creamy. So I'd recommend that. And you can find all of these in my Amazon shop, amazon.com/shop/Allison Rosen, and then go to podcast guest recommendations and take a gander at there's like over 100 now of great recommendations.
Good stuff.
Hell
in there.
yeah.
Mhm.
I would like to say hello and welcome to the new Patreon people.
Allison wants to say thank you to a couple of special people out there who signed up to be new patrons. Patreon.com/Allison Rosen.
Hello and welcome, Jeff Walters. Hello and welcome, Chris Trujillo. Hope you're enjoying all Patreon stuff. Also, like to remind you, I have a Substack, AllisonRosen.substack. That's right, AllisonRosen.substack.com, telling secrets from my time on the Adam Carolla Show. Ooh, that is compelling.
What are we talking? Oh my God, you should write about that.
I just mean describing it that way.
I was just gonna
Telling
say,
secrets.
did you just come? Is that the new theme for your entire Substack?
For
That's
my
what
whole
you're
life.
doing.
Telling secrets from my time on
Telling
the
secrets from the Adam Carolla show. Brilliant.
Because I don't know how to describe it normally, but I think I just landed on it because I just signed
Well, that's
up.
not all you write about.
Well, yeah, here we go. That's not all I write about. There's also other stuff. That's telling secrets from my time on the Adam Carolla show, and also other stuff.
also other
I mean, there's so much other stuff, really, unless the secrets is what's compelling to you. In which case, more secrets, less other stuff.
Yeah. You could tell secrets about Greg Gutfeld.
Oh yeah, I think I've written about Red Eye. I've written about my time at Fox News and on Red Eye a
worked
bit
at
as well.
Fox
You worked for
Working
Greg
at-
Gutfield?
So working at Fox News is too
Red
strong. I appeared on Fox News programs for a while I lived in New York. So
I accompanied you
started-
onto one. I got to go
Red
to Fox
Eye,
News.
yeah. So it started with Red Eye, and then I would meet other producers, and they're like, "Come on, do you want to come on our show?" And I was a real slut for TV appearances, so I was like, "Yes, I would." So I did Fox and Friends multiple times.
You were on Fox.
I
and
was
Friends?
on Fox and Friends.
Did you crush?
I would like to think I did. Yeah. I was on Hannity.
Jesus Christ.
That was Hannity and Combs. That was the most like they tried to push me to.
Now
be
that's
the
something
most
you could write
political.
about on Substack.
Yes, I should.
'Cause,
I should because
there's some behind the scenes stuff there.
Hannity, had some things
Well, don't
to say
spill
to
it.
me. I
Yeah.
won't.
That's a good. That was a spoiler. I mean, not
Yeah.
spoiler, but that was a tease.
A tease.
Right there. He had some things to say.
Geraldo more than once.
Wait, so what do you? They bring you on as an expert, or what?
Yeah, like pop culture expert or like editor from this magazine.
You had a whole thing about how you were looking for Obama's birth certificate.
No.
Oh my gosh! I was like, no.
I did
yeah,
not.
no,
No.
Oh, you did. Oh, you didn't.
Did I? I don't know. You got to read Substack to find out.
Okay, we're not.
Oh wait, did she? Oh god.
Oh,
No,
man.
I was not. I was not political. Well, was I political? Oh, this is like the thing where I never know.
I don't think you were. You were just.
like,
You were on there
No.
cracking jokes and.
Well, no. I mean, I remember another newscaster was like, if you could be like the liberal Ann Coulter, that would be so good for
what
you.
would that be?
I don't even know what that would
Good
be.
Lord.
It would be great.
No, but like that sounds too good, so
What
it's hard
even?
to.
Yeah. What's the
Also,
liberal
it just
know.
tells you what all that shit is bullshit. It's
Yeah.
just all TV.
Mhm.
Oh, we need somebody to fill this role. You don't have to believe any of that. None of those people believe any of that
They
shit.
definitely
I'm just
don't.
not. I just was. I remember thinking, and it was before I went on Hannity, thinking like I gotta try to be the liberal Ann Coulter. I should really be writing about this. But in the end, it's just I'm not versed in political stuff enough. So I would come on these shows to talk about current events and pop culture-y stuff more than straight up politics. I always felt the least qualified to talk about strictly political stuff.
Yeah, that could get you in trouble.
Yeah, I can't even think of who the liberal Ann Coulter would be because there's not like a. The left
Is
doesn't.
it like Rachel Maddow? But she's
operate
not.
the same way.
She's not a firebrand.
No, because
in that
like
way.
Ann Coulter's whole thing is just talking shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just making shit up, being inflammatory, just being like outrageous, and I just can't think of who that would be.
A real lady Trump.
Oh, lady.
Lady Trump. I'm not sure who that would be.
Yes.
Yeah, that is weird. That is a hard one because I think inherently she's like mean and evil. So it's like
right.
liberal to maybe our brains is like, well, that's not evil. But
Right.
there's some evil. So who's the evil liberal? I don't know. Who is it?
I don't
Write
know.
in. Let us know.
Well, there's like
Stewart.
the liberal
Jon
version.
Stewart.
The liberal version of that is more like sort of smug condescension. It's not like that just hateful, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's like looking down someone, I don't know.
That makes sense.
I'm sure we could think.
Like Bill
Not right
Maher,
now,
kind
but-
of
Oh,
like,
yeah. Oh,
like
yeah.
that sort of
Yeah.
thing. But
Oh,
he's not
yeah.
really liberal,
No.
so I
Right.
don't know.
Anyway, you may have noticed there's sort of not very many ads. So please support me directly if you enjoyed the how high
That's
my
right.
voice is getting.
Support
me
her so
directly
she
if
doesn't
you-
have to become a conservative pundit.
Patreon.
Go where the money is.
And Substack. Okay. I think it is time to say thank you so much, everyone, for being on the show. Todd, where might we find you?
Oh my God. You can find me on my ding dang Instagram, angelcitylumber.com if you like wood from Los Angeles. That's the main things I'm doing these days.
Great. Great. Niccole?
What am I doing? You can follow me on Instagram. I feel like I'm on there the most, at Niccole Thurman. And that's the main thing for me. And then like Twitter and Threads, I'm trying to get back into again too. So follow me.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Daniel?
Well, I've been back on Twitter, just out there talking shit, just getting into it. And so you can go there if you want to become annoyed. I don't know. Or anywhere else, Daniel Quantz.
All right. And Tony?
If you're in Los Angeles, I'll be playing with Don't Stop or We'll Die at the Permanent Records Roadhouse on September 18th. And new Motion City soundtrack single is out now called Stop Talking. And it's also, I don't know if I said this before, it's in a movie also called Dee Dee that just came out. And it's now playing nationally. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Is that like D-E-D-E?
D-I-D-I.
Okay. I remember wondering that last time. So I guess you did mention it last time, but I didn't know how to spell it. You guys, thank you so much. Listeners, thank you for listening. I love you. You matter. Goodbye.
Hey, do you know about the Allison Rosen show?